Damn!
Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. You can see we've got the beautiful backyard here, some garbage junk pallets, and, well, whatever chemicals these are over here. It is amazing. So today we've got a special project. Let's go inside and take a look. This one I'm pretty excited about. So today's project is the Lambo we picked up in auction. So this car was actually a steal. It was pretty good. I picked it up for 68 grand. It's already made a profit of 13,000 and we haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm excited to renovate this one. But first, we've got to clean up this car here. So this is basically an Audi A3, I think, or the Mayan M3. I'm going to finish this one up. I'm going to put some performance parts on it. I'm going to quickly sell it, get out of the way, and then we'll jump into the other project. So stay tuned. Be right back. Alright, we are back with our Audi. As you can see, it's been completed, repainted, installed an engine with performance parts in it. We did some cosmetic stuff on this car as well, like we added a painted engine cover to the top of it. I painted the calipers red. Had to use a chrome paint. I can't necessarily get the true bright red that a lot of the vehicles have on their calipers, so if anyone has any thoughts on what the color combination for that, I'd appreciate it. And then for paint, this is a blue chrome paint with a customized blend. It's meant to match the Audi Atoll blue, but it, I don't know, it's probably a bit too shiny. But overall, looks all right. Nice, 114,000. That's all right. I'll have to check what I put into it, but it wasn't a ton of cash, which is great. All right, off to the main project. Let's check it out. All right, back to our current project. So when you're looking at this thing, as I mentioned, I got this from an auction. Again, this one was only about 68,000, but I think that was a good deal because the actual auction price was much higher. So overall, if you look at the condition, it's actually not that bad. So I'm excited to see what this turns out to. Any thoughts on the color combinations or how you should rebuild it, let me know. For this one, I've got a ton of scrap I've been saving up as well, so I actually might 3-star some of the performance parts we put into this as well and see what happens. That'd be my first time playing with it. So I'm going to go and strip this thing down. I'll check back on you guys as soon as that's done. Alright, welcome back. So we have done a complete teardown. We have put back in everything that we could so far. So we've replaced all of the suspension, all the drivetrain, interior components, we've repaired the body panels, and we've replaced anything with performance parts we could. The only kind of weird thing about this car is that, okay, so first off, it's broken up. It's a rear-wheel drive, rear engine, so obviously some stuff is split out. It does have double wishbone in the rear, which is kind of cool for suspension. And for performance parts, all we could really do, it's got 2 fuel tanks. All we could really do is add performance fuel pumps, and I thought there'd be upgraded exhaust, but there really isn't, so we kind of have to stick with stock there. In terms of the rest of it, it's actually a pretty straightforward build. There's actually not a ton of suspension components for this car. You can see we've got an upgraded air filter in there. And everything else is, for the most part, pretty much stock. So we are going to come back. We are going to do some cosmetic stuff like the calipers, likely the suspension as well, and possibly fuel tanks and whatnot. But if you're looking at this vehicle, it is nearly complete. So all we have to do at this point is jump into the engine build. And then kind of determine what we want for cosmetics and interior colors. So just looking at this now, We might paint some parts inside here too. I don't know if we could do the rads. I doubt it. But maybe the servo and the fuse boxes and stuff we can actually clean up. The only other change I made is I opted in for the basic lights. I like the pop-up lights and having the bulbs hidden. So those are slightly cheaper, but I think they look better overall. And then on that note, I think that's about it. So let's rebuild the engine. We'll put that into a time lapse and we'll be right back. For this car, I struggled picking the color, so quite like the yellow or the orange. And you can also do that with a chameleon or even a chrome effect to really bring out a bit of depth to it. I thought this looked good. I also played with a green. I actually initially had it as a lime green, which felt great. But then the more I was looking at, you know, some of the new Lamborghini colors, the dark grays really seemed to fit it, which was great. So even this one with like the purple and the blue just looked incredible on this car. So there's tons of options for the painting of this vehicle. We went with something a bit more subtle, and what I chose to do on this build is go with the darker color and then highlight some of the performance parts like the calipers a bright yellow. So hopefully this turns out well. Again, it's only 1,000 credits to change it, so if it's something you want to play with, it's fine. I think in total price for this vehicle, I've probably spent $4,000 to $5,000 just painting it, trying to find a color that I liked. But here's what we chose. All right, so we added some performance parts to this car. We ended up getting it up to, check my math, carry the 6, divide by 4. Yeah, 726 horse, which is great from tuning options. Everything's all done on the car. And we're just gonna go ahead and add some colored parts in here. So we did gold calipers, which we'll take a look at in a sec here. Try that again. We ended up flipping the color to be a gray. I was trying to match some of the new Lamborghini grays that they have in there. It looks great with the pearl, but really paints of this era kind of don't really have pearls on them, so. The rest of the car we kept stock. The tires on this vehicle are huge. So this car has 18-inch on the back, 17-inch on the front, and they're 335s on the back, which is just massive. So kind of cool attention to detail there. Having the two different sizes, but also like the size of the tires is just incredible. So aside from the calipers, we did a few more customization options as well. Let's get the tires back on here. Again, these are the stock rims. I just painted them black because I thought they matched with the gray of the car a bit better. So we cleaned up the engine bay a bit. We painted the air filter base and the cover. And then I painted these clips gold, which isn't a big deal. Like the stock ones are just standard, but I thought they kind of popped with the engine cover. Ended up going for a gold color on the engine covers. Not too sure how that played out, but the cool thing about this, when we put the manifold on, you can't see them, so it just provides a bit of highlight. The fuel coils I left stock. Again, probably would look good painted black, which I might come back and change as we start tweaking the build. On this one, we didn't actually upgrade anything to 3-star because I'm not too sure if I'm keeping the car or not. I think for this one, we'll likely keep it and possibly update it in a future video if that's something you guys want to see. But overall, it turned out pretty clean. Oh yeah, and we painted the oil filter as well, thank goodness. The pink just wasn't going to work for this build. So this car seems like a pretty profitable flip. We bought it for $68K. We've invested $13,000 in drivetrain and body, and we invested another $22,000 in engine and performance parts. It brings our total investment to over $103,000. But the total value has gone up to $213,000, which means that we'll have the option to sell it for $110K. So for right now, I'm going to keep it. Let me know in the comments if we should eventually upgrade this thing to 3-star, which we can do in another video if that's something you guys want to see. This build has been a blast. It's been very interesting to go through it, do some of the customization parts on it, and to actually find one of these in auction was pretty exciting. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.